Welcome back again, and in today's video we will talk about some of the aspects, some critical aspects of the Rankine cycle that we have been discussing, and we will see some how to or rather how to limit certain temperatures and how to pick certain temperatures in the Rankine cycle. So, before we do that, let me make one thing very clear. You see that here we have written the first law efficiency is equal to 1 minus Q condenser by Q in, but please keep in mind that this is not equal to, here this is not equal to 1 minus T condenser by T boiler or something like that, or this is not equal to 1 minus T L by T H. You cannot put T L by T H simply here and in this expression and calculate the efficiency, the first law efficiency of a power plant or the Rankine cycle. Okay. Why is that? To understand why is that, let us come back to this figure. We can see that there is no notion of TH or TL in this entire diagram. Okay. If I ask you what is the TH, remember TH is the high temperature reservoir that from which heat is being added. Now, what is the high temperature reservoir here? Well, there is some coal burning or some nuclear reaction going on which is producing the heat, but the thing is it can be at a much higher temperature. Okay. And similarly, heat is being rejected to the surroundings, which also will be at a lower temperature than this temperature, right. So, there are some irreversibilities right there, because of course, if you want to heat the water here or heat the steam here, or if you want to reject the heat here from the steam to the surroundings, the heat transfer has to happen across a finite temperature difference, which means that straight away the notion of reversibility is gone, it is out of the window. That is number one, which is why you cannot use this formula. This formula cannot be used. And number two is, again if you come back here, you will see that there is no clear choice for TH. The highest temperature is T5, but at the same time heat is also being added at a much lower temperature here to the liquid water. Okay. So, that means that is you cannot choose TH. So, no choice for, you can write that no proper choice for TH. Okay. Similarly, you can see that there is also no proper choice for TL, although you can argue that, well, if this point 1 is exactly on the saturated liquid line, then throughout this condensation process the temperature remains constant, which I can take as TL. That is also not true. Why, we will shortly discuss, but usually this water does not come out as saturated liquid. Okay, it comes out as subcooled liquid. So, here also it will be somewhat, this temperature 1 T1 will be somewhat lower. So, let me just redraw this process maybe. So, this will be a more accurate representation, will be somewhat like this. So, this is how the process would look like as the steam condenses and then goes into becoming subcooled liquid. Okay. So, there is no, so again here also there is no notion of, you cannot choose a TL. Okay. Which is why you can't apply 1 minus TL by TH. This is a very important point. We have seen that students often make this mistake. They see this relation and they immediately say, oh, this looks very familiar, I can just plug in TL here and TH here, because this is proportional to TL by TH and I can get the efficiency value. But we have seen that is not true, because first of all this is not a reversible cycle, and second, there is, you cannot choose a proper TL or TH for this cycle. So, do not do that. You actually have to calculate the heat transfer in the condenser, heat transfer to the working fluid in the heaters and the boiler, and then subsequently evaluate the efficiency. Okay. So, the other thing is, the second thing is, I would like to point out that, see, although we cannot choose a TH, we do understand that this TH will be somewhere between T2 and T5, okay, because heat is being added to the working fluid between temperatures T5 and T2. So, this is the temperature T2, this is T5, T5, this is T2 as. So, the heat is being added between temperatures T2 and T5, which means that TH, an effective TH will lie somewhere in between T2 and T5. Now, T2 we can't, we do not have much, we cannot vary T2 much, or there is not much room to maneuver, because this change in temperature is not really that much, as the liquid is pumped, liquid water is pumped to a higher pressure. However, we can vary T5, okay. In fact, we can, so this, because this is superheated steam, we can increase the degree of superheat and take this 0.5 to a very high temperature, so that this range of heating becomes larger, right. The highest point of temperature addition goes up, which will likely result in TH going up, right, because TH lies between T2 and T5, and if you make T5 higher and higher, it is very likely that TH, the effective TH will also become higher and higher, okay. So, that means that we must superheat as much as possible in order to have more efficiency. Again, remember that we are applying here, we are applying the, or we are applying the concept 1 minus eta equal to 1 minus TL by TH. Although this is not directly applicable, you cannot calculate the efficiency using this formula, but we can still use it to improve the efficiency of the power plant. However, then you might ask, okay, how high do I go? How large T5 can be? Well, T5 is generally limited by the properties of the turbine. You see, these turbines have blades, they have rotating parts, and the working fluid, this the hot steam directly comes into contact with the turbine blades. They are the ones which push the turbine blades and rotate them, which is why the this maximum superheated temperature that you can achieve is somewhat limited by the properties of the material of the turbine, okay. So, at very high temperatures, although you know very high T5 might be desirable for achieving higher efficiency, it actually might not be practical, because very high T5 might actually damage the turbine blades of very high, as you know, they might become soft and they might break, which will defeat the entire purpose. So, this T5 is somewhat limited by the properties of the turbine material, and then finally you see that this TL, we are also limited how low we can go, okay, because we have to reject heat, and the best possible, we have to reject heat to some object which is being held at a constant temperature, or which it is maintained at a constant temperature, and the best object we have is surroundings, right. So, that means it is very hard for this TL, this or not the TL, but it is very hard for this temperature to be below the surroundings, okay. You cannot make, it is very difficult to make it below the surroundings, although you can use cooling towers to take it somewhat below the surroundings, but that also there also you are limited, because you cannot go arbitrarily below the surrounding temperatures. So, it is perhaps justified to say that this temperature, that means the condenser temperature is also limited by what is happening in the surrounding. So, if you are rejecting to a river, to a body of water, your low temperature reservoir the temperature of the low reservoir might be somewhat lower. So, then you might be able to go somewhat lower if you are rejecting heat to a river or a big body of water. If you are rejecting heat to the surroundings, this is more or less fixed by the surrounding temperature, okay. As I said, you can use things like cooling tower to get slightly below that, but it is not much below that you can get, okay. So, these two as we can see that these highest temperature and the lowest temperature are kind of fixed, Okay, they are, I mean, there are some room of maneuverability, but there is not too much room for maneuverability, because this is limited by the properties of the turbine blades and this is limited by the surrounding temperature. Okay. So, both of these are limited by what is happening either in the surroundings or how the turbine is being designed. Right. So, but we can still improve the efficiency by, or we can still get more work output of the turbine by doing, again as I was saying, by doing by doing or by adding intermediate steps in the Rankine cycle, which again will not discuss, because that will just be too much for a single course. I will encourage you all to go through the textbook that has been prescribed, and in chapter 9 you will find several steps which are taken to improve the efficiency or to improve the work output from the turbine. Okay. Okay. So, with that, let us end here. In the next class we will start talking about vapor compression refrigeration cycle, which is the cycle that goes on in our household refrigerators as well as in many air conditioners that we have. Okay. So, let us end here. Thank you very much.